more swatches with a drawing this time.
Illustrations by me.
So I'm going to swatch out some of these Winsor & Newton markers. They're not in the box. I already took them out of the box. I already did the thing. So I don't do markers a lot because a lot of people don't like markers. But I'm going to do these markers. These are the rich tone markers from Winsor & Newton. And yeah, it's Winsor & Newton. Sometimes I say Winsor Newton like it's a name or something. But it's Winsor & Newton. These were pretty good. I really enjoyed these. They were very vibrant colors came off of this. And they show them on the back here, but I don't know how accurate they are. I don't think they're extremely accurate. They never are. They give you the colors on the back, so they give you a sheet and it shows you the colors, and they're not any of the colors that you actually get when you put the marker on the paper. Yeah, that's it for another day. That's another discussion. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the markers very much. I have something else I need to talk to you about. So let's get into the drawing and I'll tell you. Alright, so I am going to talk about these for a second because I'm going to swatch these out for you and I want you to see the colors. I think they're actually really pretty colors. And the other thing is when I do the drawing for this set, I want to make sure that I put all of the colors into the drawing so that I'm not just... whenever I get a palette and I get a set of colors, they need to work together. I don't understand why people would put a color selection together if they don't work together. So I'm going to put all of the colors into the drawing and you'll see if they really work together or not. I had difficulty taking them out of the box. They got stuck because they got little nubs on them and a little bit. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. So anyway, these are the 6 markers here. And I'm going to go through them one by one. And one of them was open when I took it out. But I think I had done that when I popped the thing open. So this azure color here, this is probably my favorite color in the whole set. It's a little bit similar to that cobalt blue after it dries, of course. It's a little bit more vibrant when it's bright, wet, and all that stuff. But it's a little similar to the cobalt blue, but it's not really. It's more of a blue. It's more of a truer blue. The cobalt blue looks a little bit more to the lavender side when you stick them side by side. The Egyptian blue, definitely not my favorite. Reminds me... Just ignore that. It reminds me of like an ultramarine or something like that. And again, that's just not my color. It's just not something that I use a lot of. So it's there, but it's not my favorite. The plum is actually a very nice, pretty purple color. I do enjoy that color. I think I don't use purple a lot, but I do use it in this drawing, and I enjoyed using it in this drawing. I think it worked pretty well. That ocean teal, it's a little too green for me. I mean, it's a teal. I know it's a teal. It's supposed to be a teal. So but it's just a little bit more of the green side. I'm not a fan of that. It looks like a mint color, and I'm not a fan of that. The amber, it comes off bright and vibrant when you first put it down, but after you let it dry a little bit, it kind of looks like that apricot on the upper left there. It kind of just, I don't know, it's not bad. It's just, it doesn't look as nice and sunset-like when you first put it down. The fire brick is the same thing. It looks nice and bright red when you first put it down, but after a while it kind of tones down and looks more like that burnt orange. Now, when it dries, it's a little bit more like like a reddish color in that burnt orange. And I know it is not even close to a potter's pink, but when you put that next to the burnt orange, it has a little bit more of that potter's pink kind of color, and I'm going to show that to you here in just a second. But the colors are good. They're nice, they're vibrant, they do pop off the page. When they dry, they dull a little bit, just like every other thing that you would ever put on any other paper. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to pull this down a little bit and show you that burnt orange. It looks very similar, but there's a little bit more of that pinkish, like a potter's pink color in the fire brick. Okay, now let's get into the drawing part. No, let me correct myself. We're not getting into the drawing part. We're going to do the blending thing. See, I forgot to do this. I did the whole drawing and then I did the blending at the end. But people always ask me about the blending because in the drawing I'm not blending. I'm just putting down the solid color and then adding texture to it. So people are going to say, well, you didn't show if it blends or not. So now I'm going to do the blending thing. I'm adding it in here so that you can see how well they do. And really, for the most part, the two colors that I'm using here, they blend very well. This is the different paper though. This is, what is this called here? This is the render, crescent render paper that I'm using here to blend them. They blend very well on this paper. I did not use standard paper to blend on here, so I have no idea if it'll work on standard paper like I did the swatching on. But on the crescent render, you can just layer and layer and layer on these markers. Never goes through, it never tears apart the page, so it works very well, and I think it blends very well if you're using the right tool for the job. If you're using what you're supposed to use, then things are going to work well. And I figured that the colors to blend the best would be that amber and then the fire brick. I think they're very similar in shading. You would blend them together. They're a very nice color combination. They work. And then I went for the azure and the Egyptian blue and the plum, and I tried to match them. I think the darker blue, the plum kind of blended better with the darker blue than it would have with the lighter blue, but that's just me. How do you think that this blended? You think that looks okay? You think it looks decent at least? And I think that they're not bad. I think that they're pretty good. Now, here's the other thing though. I decided to take the same the amber and the fire brick and blend them with the regular alcohol blender to see if they would blend with the alcohol. But I probably should have overlapped them a little bit better. I know I didn't do that. And I know I also went horizontally. I should have stayed vertically when I was blending them. I was just trying to move the color a little bit more. And I don't like what that colorless blender does because it kind of adds like a white pastiness to it. And I think it looks pretty ugly. So that's just about it for that. And I think we're going to get into the drawing now. Alright, now that I've said everything I can about markers, I need to talk about something else. I know, listen, the last video you saw, it was with the White Knights watercolor, and there were a lot of people who got a little upset about the fact that I was talking about a company who has an embargo on them because of the country that they're made in. But I just want you to understand, and guess what? I'm going to do a few more videos on them because I also bought the other set, and I'm going to do some drawings with them, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit. But let me explain to you, I understand when people get upset. Everyone was very nice to me. Everyone was very kind when they complained about it, and I thank you for that. I am very appreciative that everyone was so kind and gentle when they tried to correct me. But I just want you to understand, my videos are not anything to do with political statements. I'm not approving or disapproving of any government actions that are happening and what's going on. And that I understand those things are happening in the world. I understand that they're affecting a lot of people. And wherever you stand on that, you have every right to stand in that stance on that. And I encourage everyone to have their own opinions about what they're doing and what they're looking at and what they're going to buy and spend their money on and who they're going to support and what they're going to support. I appreciate all of you and I understand all of that. I think that you have the right to do that. I have no problem with that. I'm never going to correct that because it doesn't need correcting. You stand up for what you need to stand up for, and you do the things you do because of your convictions, and you never should ever cross over your own convictions just because of some idiot on YouTube says, hey, look at this. Now, saying that, being the idiot who said that, I just want to say this. This channel is not about any of that stuff. This channel is only about, hey, look, I found this, and I'm going to have an experience with it, and I want to share that experience with you. The people at the company, at the watercolor company, they didn't go and do anything wrong. They're just everyday people who are trying to feed their family just like everybody else. And I understand that there's sometimes the government gets involved because of what's going on and they're not able to export things and the government has to subsidize them a little bit and do that. Whatever happens in that realm stays in that realm. These are just some things I have in front of me. I want to share them with you because I'm experiencing them and I'm explaining the experience to you. That's all this is. I'm not saying anything that's happening is okay or good or that I want it to happen, or I'm not doing any of those things. So I just want you to know I'm going to show you more of these paints because it's not a political statement to me. To some people it is, and that's fine. You keep your opinion, and I want you to have it, and I want you to voice it as much as you want. but keep it a little toned down. We want to appreciate each other. And there was one comment I did have to delete. I hate doing that. I always want everyone to be able to express themselves, but I had to take one down. And it wasn't that the thing that they said in the overall was wrong. It's just that what they said was done in such a way that it was hurtful to other people. And I didn't want to do that. That's not how we work here. So if you want to say something, say it. I have no problem with that. And I appreciate that you're being very gentle to me and not, stringing me up by my toenails from a tree. But I just want to let you know that what I'm doing here is I'm just experimenting. What it's really about for me is what I'm creating and what I'm doing. So as a creator, I like to create things and I like to use the things that are around me. And I say, hey, go buy these. These are good things. But if you have a problem with that, then you stick to your guns. Don't do anything that some idiot tells you just because they tell you to do it, right? So I just want you to know that I appreciate all of you. I appreciate sharing experiences with you. I want to hear about your experiences. And if you have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with you telling me that you have a problem with it. So long as you're being kind to the other people. You could tear into me, I don't care. But as long as you're kind to the other people and the other artists that are here, please don't go at any one of them. You can go at me all you want. I'm pretty good with that. So again, I just want to thank you for your kindness and for extending that grace to me and understanding that I'm not trying to say anything terrible. I'm not trying to be divisive. I'm not trying to be controversial. So just keep that in mind. The only thing I'm trying to do is share with you. And if you want to use a different thing and a different watercolor and a different whatever, that's fine with me. Hopefully, Winsor Newton has not been canceled by the time this video goes live, because that would suck if I just did that twice in one week. But you will. I'm just warning you now. You will see more White Knight videos because I do really enjoy the watercolor. I think they're a great company as far as the product that they're putting out. I think it's top notch. And I was so shocked with the fact that people that I had heard, and I hear a lot of you saying, no, these have always been top quality paints, but I have heard so many people say that these are like the bottom of the top grade, and I don't understand why, because they're absolutely beautiful paints. I'm going to try and get the Rosa Gallery if I can. Matter of fact, I'm going to go a little bit later today and order some of those and get them coming in here so I can do a proper video with them. They seem to be a wonderful company too, but they're not really available for me here. Especially the granulating set, I can't find them anywhere. I've gone through all the stores. I can't find where they're selling those. I can see some other ones. I see some of their other colors, but not the granulating ones, which is the ones I kind of was interested in. But I'll get a regular set in here, and I will do a swatch with them and just check them out because I'm curious about them. They're new to me. They're new on the scene, and I've never heard of them before, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about them. So I want to get them in and do some kind of review for you, and I'll swatch them out and talk about them a little bit and see what I like and what I don't like. There's some other companies I still want to get too. I think I've spoken about the Cotman watercolor set from Winsor Newton, but see, I did it again. I said Winsor Newton. Just don't pay attention to me. Just don't worry about that. Winsor & Newton has a professional line that everybody seems to love as well that I want to get in here, and I want to do some. I have to give Schmenka a second chance. I have to give them another chance because the granulating paints didn't work the way that I wanted them to work for how I use them. Just please keep that in mind. How I use them, they didn't work the right way. I wanted that volcano set to really work, and to me, it absolutely sucked. It was not vibrant at all. It was not. It just wasn't impactful at all. The granulation was fine. I saw the granulation. It just was not. The color didn't pop like I wanted it to pop, and I thought other people said it would, and it just didn't do that. Some of the other colors were great. Some of the other colors in that set were wonderful colors, and I said that, and I pointed those out. But I wanted that orange and that red to really be the star of the show, and they were not. Fortunately, I found them in the White Knight set, and I'm hoping to find them in another set now. So there's also the core watercolors I want to try out. I've got to try them. I want to get some M-Gram in here. I've used the M-Gram gouache, but I haven't used the M-Gram watercolor. So I want to try them and give them a shot as well. There's a lot of things I want to try. And all of you seem to like the swatching videos. I am so happy that you like the swatching videos because I like the swatching myself. I like to give you my input on the crazy ideas that I have while I'm doing this, and some things that I may find and that I may see. Then you can either agree or disagree, that's fine. So back to this, I want to say that the color pops off the page on here. I had no trouble laying it down. It worked very well. I enjoyed putting the texture in. I just created a little abstract thing. It's just nothing. It's just a thing. So, but it was enjoyable. I liked them, and for the color, I was so hoping that they say rich colors. I was hoping that they were, and they are. They're very rich colors. They were not. They didn't look faded out on the page or anything like that. They looked high strength, and it was wonderful. Unfortunately, they are alcohol markers, so they're going to eventually fade because it's just dye-based alcohol markers. So, but if you keep them in a sketchbook, or if you keep them out of direct sunlight, they may last a little bit longer on a wall or something. I don't really know, but I mean, you keep all art out of direct sunlight. You never stick the painting in the window facing the sun. You don't do that. Nobody does that in real life. But you also don't have a museum in your house. So you want to make sure that if it's up on a wall, it doesn't fade in 30 seconds and all of a sudden you have a black and white painting on your wall. But these colors are definitely bright, vibrant. If you like marker work, very easy to blend. They worked very well, and I enjoy using them. The color lays down. The tips seem to last for a long time. I have a few more of the other brands. I have like the Spectrum Noir. I think they're, yeah, the Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers. I really like those, but the tips seem to wear out very quickly, and I don't like that. But these last for a very long time. I have not had these wash out on me yet, or dry up on me, or start fading on me, or start bending. They get like, they just go limp for some reason. It's like it's not even there. It almost turns into like a bristle brush, and it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be a foam brush. But all in all, I think they're great, and if you like markers, I would highly suggest that you get them, of course, from my affiliate links down below. So thumb up the video if you are going to make sure that you're using the experience to have the experience, and you do what you have to do. You stand up for your principles and your things that you have to stand up for, and I applaud you for them. Hopefully we will meet somewhere in the middle with art, and that's an important thing. So, all right, anyway. If you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.